Hi everyone, this is Ken here at the Stamps of Life office in Southern California. I'm still working on making cards. We still are not getting out to travel, so that gives me some extra time to do some of this fun stuff and try some things I haven't had a chance to do in the past. So we're going to work on that, and I have some ideas in mind, and if you would have been here the whole morning that I've been working on this, you would have given up on me by now. So it takes a lot of patience even to get a card going. Some of the things that I need or I want to use, I can't even find them yet. So number one, the key is to be organized and have everything ready to go. I picked up a lot of stuff last night, but there's some things that I thought might be here and I'm not able to find them. So I'm trying to improvise a little bit and make things happen. So we're going to see how this turns out. My original idea was to make a black base card with, pretty much black base, and to use white ink on it. But I just thought it would really stand out. I have not had any success with that. So my plan has to change a lot. So rather than doing a dark card, it's going to be a lighter color card. And I'm going to make this one, Father's Day is coming up. And Stephanie's dad is he's kind of like my dad. So I'm going to make a card and we're going to see how it goes. So this will be a Father's Day card, and we're going to learn and try to figure out some maybe new techniques. Again, this is, if you're a pro and you're really good at this stuff already, you're probably not going to learn anything from my card making, but if you're new, you might learn a few tips here and there that might help you out. First, we're going to look at some of the examples, samples that I've been seeing. And it made me want to use one of the Stamps of Life stencils. Great ideas from the Stamps of Life design team. So I'm going to show you those. This is a little bit of a sneak peek because some of these things are going to be coming out later in the month, so you'll have to wait a little bit. This is using, I believe it's called the large circle stencil. So that's that one there with our llama club set from about a year ago, and the party statement. And then this one features, has also the large circle for the stencil in the background. This was from our Under the Sea class, the dies and the stamps there that you see on that. And then this is a happy anniversary card, also large circles for the background. Our llama again. Now it's possible, I'm not sure if this is a stencil or one of our dies, but it certainly reminds me of a stencil. So that is that one there. Thanks card. Thank you. This is definitely a sneak peek, I believe. I get all the days mixed up and the months mixed up, but I think we just did some videos for these that'll come out in late June. So nice background with the stencil, another thank you card. All these are A2 cards, easy to make and mail, maybe called open flower stencil. Watch for the end of the month. So again, all the ideas will be on the Stamps of Life website. The Stamps of Life gallery page will help you a lot. I'm going to show you some of the things that I've done already, and we'll see how that went. Then I'll show you some of the products, and then we'll get to making the card. So I'm going to try to go a little bit faster than I have on the first couple of videos, just to shorten it up, because I want you to see the card at the end, and I'm not sure you can always hang in there with me because these videos have been pretty long. So if it gets too slow for you, you can just press fast forward or skip a couple times, and we'll get you to the end, okay? So let's get started. Okay, so some good things as I've started this project. Number one, my camera. I can see that I have not cut my head off in this episode, so that's a really good start. And I can see I have sound, and it looks like everything's taping properly. I got 3 cameras, one above, one here to look at the shots on the table, and one on me. And I see the sound going in there. Again, I'm right in the middle, so everything on the technical side should be good. And now we have to look on the card side. When I'm practicing, here's my practice stuff. I've used a dark paper. I'm going to use black with the card, but I just found some scratch paper around here, and this is where I was trying to try things out. So I was using the white ink, the Stamps of Life white ink called powder sugar. It would really pop off the dark paper, but I could not figure out how to use the white ink with the stencil. I really had to change my plan. So rather than a dark card with the white for the background, I'm going to change and still have kind of a dark base. And if you use the stencil on a dark paper like this, you're not going to see anything from the stencil. The next problem that I encountered was I don't have any of the blending brushes here. So I've looked and looked, no blending brushes. But I do see we have the Stamps of Life blenders, and also with the refill. So I have a bunch of different blenders I'm going to use here, and I'm going to try to get the results that I would get from the brushes. I think I can kind of do it, but it's probably not going to come out quite as good as if I had the blending brushes. So I did a lot of practicing here too. You're going to see I did some stenciling, and I have new stamps. So I have stamped those a few times to test them and practice. I think you can see some of my stamps where I probably stamped just like this. No secret weapon. And I believe this one here, I did have the secret weapon. Looks better, it's filled in. Whereas here we have these spots where it's kind of splotchy, and I thought I had enough ink on the stamps. So I always practice again with new stamps or even with the old stamps. It's best to try them out and get used to them before you put them on your real card. We're gonna see, I'll show you the products here. I made this little camera, and I did do some ink on it, but I got the little bit of splotchy again, so I didn't like that. I'm going to instead die cut out these pieces, and I have some foam in there to give it a little depth. Cut all those out. I've cut the base for practicing on my camera. This is my stenciling. It's going to be the circle dot stencil, and I did it on the big full page, and then I cut it out. I'm going to try to focus just mainly on trying to pick out which colors came out here best. Well, we'll try and see what we get on the next one when we actually do it. It's going to be an A2 card. I'll show you again the products. We'll have a base there. We're going to make this a vertical card, so it'll face that way. And let's see, other hits. So I've done a little stitch die cutting and a little bit of stamping. This is just practice. I know it's not the correct direction, but then on the inside I'll have a little sentiment also. Show you the products that I'm using. Mini ink pads. I have the blenders. So we're going to use blenders and lots of different ink colors. So I have several different ink colors. Seems like the darker colors are coming through better. I've got a few different blenders. I'm kind of making a mess. You can see it. It's been getting on my hands here and there. But I'm trying to keep things organized now that I can see how much my disorganization costs me. So some of the things I'm going to need: intricate film strip die. I'm going to need the little poking tool. So I've got a few different size blocks here. A couple of, I think my phrase is going to be kind of narrow. It might go in there, and this fits the camera and some of the pieces that we'll be stamping. So those will be my blocks. I have my A2 base. A lot of our card kits have A2 bases in them already, so you can get a rounded corner, straight edge, all kinds of different styles and different panels. And so these are fun, and something Stephanie keeps it right here all the time because you're going to use it all the time. We're going to use the stitch rectangle dies, the outside, the largest size, to put on the front of that A2 card base, and then some of the smaller ones for the inside of the card and also for our dad stamp. This is going to be my stamp set. It is called Camera to Stamp. It was a club set a long time ago, maybe 5-6 years ago. So if some of you are new to the Stamps of Life, you might like this stamp set. So we have this one. It's available on the website. And then we're going to use the camera dies. I'm going to use just about all those die pieces, and now I think I'm going to stamp on the inside, so we might not use that little die, but all these pieces I think will get used. Okay, so we have that. I'll be using adhesive sheets and the adhesive foam. Do have tape, and we have this also on our website. This is the film strip die. This again has been around for a long time. And then this one is called Funky for Low ABC. So we're going to use the A and the D up there for Dad, and then we'll make sure that we get a second D in there and get it all lined up. And this is the circle dot stencil. Now, I hope I don't get in trouble because this was Stephanie's. So how Stephanie says, don't tell Ken, don't tell Stephanie. But this used to be kind of clear, and now it's pink. And I have my little hand wipes, and I was wiping it off, cleaning up, keeping up with it pretty good. But then there's some colors that are not coming out. So I think that is pretty permanent now. It won't hurt anything. Maybe it's even easier to see it, but It used to be clear. So I hope I don't get in trouble. And let's see, our card stock. This is Sunshine, Licorice, and then I might use some of these other colors for the camera. I haven't decided exactly yet. Well, we can, since we're just doing die cuts, we can make the camera be just about anything we want. Okay, I also have my platinum machine. I got my cutting pads there. Everything is ready to go. Okay, we're starting now, so I'm going to move away my secret weapon because we're going to work on our stenciling. And I don't want to get any ink on that. I don't want to get any glue on that. So I do pay attention to the comments to my video because it helps me. I can learn some things. So I'm trying to learn. And some of our viewers said, hey, make sure you don't put tape on the secret weapon or ink on the secret weapon. So I'm trying to be careful with it. This is going to be my scratch pad. So we're going to stencil first. Now you could die cut if you want first. Just up to you. There's no real right way to do this. But one of the things I'm learning is I need to, where's my washi tape? It's hidden. Washi tape is becoming very, very important, valuable. I'm not good at keeping everything in place, and when you go to cut or even when you go to ink, if you don't kind of keep things in place, it can really throw off your project. So I'm going to use the washi tape to keep this stencil in place, and I'm going to put a little on the top and the bottom, and little on the side there. This has a little bend up here on the corner, and I want to make sure that comes out nice, so I'm going to take that area down too. And I'm just going to pick a couple different colors. I'm not going to use that one. I want to go with a little bit darker colors. Let's try these three. We're going to do cranberry, blueberry, tangerine. And I see that I do need to get a good amount of ink on here for it to ink up the pages here. And it seems like the first time I would go to put the blender down on the stencil, it would get a real dark spot. So I'm going to try to just get rid of that a little bit. And then I'm just going to start going over the stencil. I'm new at using stencils, so this will be the first time really making a card with a stencil. There will be chances to make it better. And it's for my dad, so I'm sure he'll love it just because I made it. He's a real nice guy. Okay, this is blueberry. And we're going to work that in up there at the top. Also right over here, and let's get that first spot out. See how that's a little bit darker? Let's try this here. And I really don't know how this is going to look until we take the stencil off. And so I'm done with the blueberry. I'm learning to keep the lids on my ink because that way I don't get ink all over my hands or all over the project or all over places. See, I already have a little smudge up there, but I'll be able to cut that out. Now I've tried to watch this being done, and I can be doing it right or I could be totally wrong. But I'm not sure there's a right way or a wrong way to do this. So that's kind of my background, and you can see I've got all these different colors on here. So I'm going to attempt to clean it up. And I'm going to bring over my stencil. Most of it looks okay. I see a couple spots where I wish I wouldn't have the blue and the tangerine hitting there together, the blueberry and tangerine. It just looks fair. But once I die cut it, it will start to look a little bit better. Got my large rectangle die. We're gonna put that, and it's stitched. This is the stitched rectangle die. I can just put that right over there. It doesn't have to be any specific spot. It can be just about anywhere you want it to be. So I will run that through. And this is going to give me the front of my Father's Day card. Okay, so that looks not bad, huh? Not bad. I've seen a lot better. You saw the design team working with the stencils. Theirs looks much, much nicer. Now, one thing I wish I would have done was to put some of the foam paper on this, and we'll see how that turns out. I should have put this on the paper before I cut it. It would have made things much easier. And we're just going to add this to the back. And I think I hear Cookie's here, so if you hear some crazy barking, that is Cookie. And I might have to stop this video and come back. I didn't know they were going to be coming by here, so this is a surprise.
We hey, crash your video.
Are you crashing my video?
I am crashing your
video. Oh my gosh, look who's here. You don't even have a mic?
I don't even have a
Cookie.
mic, I know. I'm not really here. Stop. Sorry. Oh, fun. I can't wait to see your car.
Yeah. And we're ready to go. I put that at just a little bit of an angle to help our cut and to help with the speed bumps. And this will cut for us and score it, and our card will be all ready to go, which is fun and easy. Okay. So there's my card base. Scored already. I just fold that over, and I have my front panel for my card. Let's move that machine again out of the way for just a minute, and that's the front of our card. See, I like that side a little bit better. Get that centered on there. All right, so that looks a little more exciting than my other card, which was just flat. So I added a little extra in there with the adhesive foam. Okay, we're done with that. My card's starting to come along. Now we're going to work with our camera dies and our film strip die. And I'm going to, this time I'm going to remember to put some of the, this time we're going to use the adhesive sheets, not the foam. And we're going to, we just need to cut a strip that's about, going to fit right on the back of there. Cut that down so we can save some of this for extra, for later. We won't need all of it. We're going to put this on the back of the cardstock. And this way we won't have to use the tape runner, because it would be hard to get the glue or the tape all on this. If we do this ahead of time, it'll save us some time later. Hi, Cookie. Why don't you go lay down, okay? Back in my cardstock. This way it's going to be sticky. We don't have to add any tape or glue later. We'll run that through. Cutting pad. And we're going at a slight angle. And I shouldn't be doing this on my secret weapon, but it seems to be working out okay. After I do this, I'll move that out of there, because we're going to do quite a bit of die cutting here. So I'm going to cut out this part so you won't have to watch me, but there's all these little dots that we have to poke out. Okay, so we still have a lot of die cutting to do, but I'm going to move my machine off just a little bit to the side, and you should be able to see from above or our camera up there. Bring this back over. And I have my card base. I've decided that I'm going to just make this be a little bit of border. And I see I've missed a few of my little dots here that I need to pop out, so I'm going to pop those out real quick. Shouldn't take long. And it looks like I will have to trim this down just slightly, so make sure I have some sharp scissors. Yeah, that'll look good when we trim that just a tiny bit. So we'll cut right there. And then this already has the sticky on it, so it will be ready to go. We can just apply this to the card. Oh, and it looks like I should have done one more. I gotta be careful not to bend this. Okay, so we are making progress here. So that's going to go over here on the side, just like that. I don't have to put any glue on there. That looks. Oops. Make sure that stays on there really well. And then we're going to work on our camera. So I'm going to get my camera dies here. And we're going to use all four of these pieces, so we might as well get those all ready to go. And these pieces I want to have some of the foam on. Again, that's going to add our depth to the card, make it a little more exciting, a little more to look at. So that would be about the size square I need. I have a red camera. Just for something fun to make it a little bit different, right? We'll do that red and that red. Let's see. Make sure those are on there real good. Cut that. Okay. Run that through. I can't really use these pieces yet, but we're putting the camera together. I'm just going to leave these to the side. I'm going to give myself a little bit more room around the camera to make sure that it cuts right and that all the foam is in the correct spot. So we have that. And we're going to get the blue cardstock. This is Pool. Is this color. Trim that down real fast. So let's see, some updates real quick. We have a lot of fun stuff. On the 15th, the card kit has been selling out the last couple months. So if you think you want to get in for the next month, you want to get signed up right now. And we're still doing those freebies with each of the card kit shipments. You're going to get all club members, everybody who gets that June shipment is going to get 2 free extra dies in there as gifts from us to you. So just to say thank you for being in the club and just to make it the best club around. So that's something to look forward to. That'll be June 15th. The new card kit will come out. By the time you see this, it'll be too late, but we'll have our HSM preview online on YouTube. Last month we did that, so much fun. We'll be giving away some items and Stephanie will be showing off all kinds of fun new stuff, okay? So you want to get for that. And then later this month, June 25th, I believe it is, on a Thursday, we are going to have a Stamps of Life special event. So that will be online also on YouTube that you're going to want to tune in. We're going to show off some brand new items for sale there, and there's going to be some drawings. There's going to be some flash sales too on these brand new items, so you don't want to miss that. Tell your friends. It's going to be a fun night. That'll be in the evening, 4 o'clock I think, starting here on the Pacific Coast time, and then 7 p.m. East Coast time. So save the date, tell your friends. I've got to get these pieces before I can add this to my card. Again, we have all this nice adhesive on here, so everything's sticky already, ready to go. It's really working out good. So we're going to add that onto there. And this will go onto the top of the camera. We're going to fill that in with some black just to make something a little extra. So I kept some of my scraps. I still have a little bit of the licorice to work with. So I'm going to trim that down just a little bit. My camera looks okay, but I think if I fill in that center with the black, it's going to be even better. And I did kind of, that's a little bit goofy. Actually, this part I think I did it too small, didn't I? So now since I cut this so close, I'm going to have to use a little bit of washi here to make sure my die doesn't move around when I run it through the machine, because I want it to cut right the first time, okay? So I'm going to get a little bit of that, put that on the edge there to keep that die from moving, and we're going to run this through. This is just a tiny die. If I had a little tiny cutting pad, it'd be even better if I used that, but this is what I have, so I'm going to use that. And run this through. I didn't cut it perfect, but I will take it. It's close enough for me. We're going to put a little bit of adhesive on there. So this time I didn't use the adhesive or the foam or the sheet, so I'm just going to use the tape this time. We'll drop that in there, peel that off of there. This is all sticky, ready to go. I can add my camera. We'll give it just a little bit of an angle there. That looks fun, right? And some of the spots that weren't my favorite kind of are getting covered too, so that's good too. So I've got my camera, and now I need to get Dad here on the card. Okay, so we're wanting to stamp now. We're going to use this little stamp for the inside of our card. We've got a camera, and since this is so dark in here, we're going to have to add a little inside panel, right? That'll make that a little bit lighter so we can stamp onto it.